Hey guys, how you doing? Today I'm gonna talk about with you guys about the book from Rupert Spira. It's called Nature of Consciousness. And what are the insights I gained from what reading that book? I'm gonna share with you guys, and it's so exciting. So let's proceed. Um, it basically talks about non-duality, how there's no duality between subjects and objects, dark and night, up and down. So the essential nature of reality is consciousness. Everything is like a modulation, an activity of that consciousness. So there are no independent objects. I am not independent of this source. It is just source taking on different roles and appearances and so on. So this is life changing, guys, because me, for example, personally, I've been through a lot in my life, and to this point, I can tell you that my mind is radically different, the content of my mind, from what it was like 10 years ago or even 1 year ago. It's much different, right, guys? So, uh, the feelings come and go, the body changes, and what is perpetuated is your awareness. Your awareness. What is to be aware? Awareness only knows itself. There's nothing outside of awareness. Awareness is everything. So uh, it's pointless to think that we are separate entities inhabiting a separate planet from the atmosphere, and everything is different. Everything has an autonomous kind of reality for them, isolated and stuff like that. But this leads to much disharmony in the world. You see, the world is can be at peace once we change the paradigm. So what we're talking here is not something really normal. It's a huge paradigm shift that's occurring in humanity, and it's gonna be more widely known in the next years to come or months to come. So never underestimate the power that this new mentality, this new framework has of transforming the world and stuff like that. When we see each other as part of the same entity, as part of the same consciousness, there's no point in hurting each other, in comparing with each other, because everyone stems from the same thing. It doesn't even stem from, it is the very thing. So it's kind of tricky to explain that, because we don't have many words in our language to really set this forth. Alright, guys? So now I'm gonna use three analogies that are cited in this book, which are the sky, the waves, and the ocean, and the screen and the content of the screen. So let's proceed. Start with the screen. So Rupert uses this analogy like the screen and the activity of the screen. What goes on in the screen is extremely momentary. It's fleeting. It's temporary. And once something appears on the screen, then appears something else and something else, something else. So it is not fixed, you know. The only thing that is fixed in that TV is the screen. So Rupert says that the screen is like consciousness. So everything that derives from the coloring on that screen is not real at all. It is just an apparent reality, because the fundamental reality is the screen itself. So yeah, this is a really interesting feature of the teachings in this book. And another one is the waves in the ocean. So the waves emerge from the ocean. So if something that emerged from something else must be the same thing, you know. So the ocean's made of water, the waves are made of water, and water in this case is analogous to consciousness, right, guys? So another analogy that he gives is about the sky. So is there a way of separating the clouds from the sky? No, there's no way. The clouds are the sky, are manifestations of the sky, and they are temporary. So we cannot have some permanent nature, permanent identity. The skies, the clouds come and go. Uh, Day turns to night, night turns to day, but the essence of the sky remains the same. So these are the three analogies of consciousness. So now I'm going to talk about what Rupert says about the mind. So the consciousness needs to adopt the form of mind in order to see separate objects, objective objects out there, which seems to be out there. In reality, everything occurs inside consciousness. So the mind kind of focuses on that tiny bubble of perception, and so that she can be aware of other aspects of itself in objective reality, which are consciousness. So this is really tricky to explain, guys. You need to read the book for further explanation, but this is kind of like that, you know. So the consciousness adopts the form of mind in order to know the outside world, because it's all happening within consciousness vibrates within itself. And what are the qualities of consciousness? Is it imperturbable, unconditioned? There are lots of limitless. There's actually an accurate description in the book. It is, I'm trying to remember. It is imperturbable, limitless, infinite. It can be perceived. Our minds cannot conceive that. Only awareness knows itself as awareness. There's another interesting thing that is talked about in the book. Is the way we perceive our emotions. We tend to say, I am sad, instead of I am aware of sadness in my body. So you often say too that I am a courageous person, but not I perceive, I am aware of courage in myself, in my body, my mind. So sometimes we say I am anxious. No, actually you are aware of the anxious feelings that you're getting right now. So we tend to identify with our emotions. So this is kind of tricky because we are not those emotions. For me, it took long years to realize that the thoughts come and go, feelings come and go, actions come and go, and what is there fundamentally ever present amidst the ever-changing content of reality is consciousness. It's the only one thing there is in the whole universe. The universe doesn't exist. Consciousness assumes the form of an universe. Can you get this, guys? So yeah, you can wrap your minds around it. If you haven't heard of it, this concept of non-duality ever in the past, this may be a kind of challenging to perceive and to understand. So if you feel kind of lost and not kind of can't wrap your head around it, it's okay. It's okay. Soon you'll be able to grasp this with more conviction, and you're gonna feel this in your body. Feel the oneness of all things, the interconnectedness of all things, because this is our essence, guys. I started kind of having an inkling on this idea of interconnectedness before I ever read any spiritual book, any philosophy. I came across, I knew in my heart that there was something within me that was shared by all other beings, that our actions are interlinked in this whole wide universe. And I kind of knew this back in 2015 because, like I said, I haven't read any book about it, but my intuitions told me that it was something like that, something that revolved around this concept of interconnectedness. and later I began exploring, and I stumbled upon Rupert Spira's book in 2021. And in the beginning, it was kind of hard to grasp those concepts, but as I matured, things got clearer. And today, I read the main quotes that I underlined in my book, in this book, and I felt like this. I should record a video while it's still fresh in my memory. So this is the perfect time to record that video because I spent some hours reviewing the underscores that I made in that book. Right, guys? So I think this is it. If you haven't read this book, I highly recommend. If you wanna raise a vibration, because this, like my channel, it talks about raising your vibration. So this concept, once you realize to its full extent in our lives, it can be life transformative, and it is something that mainstream media don't tell you guys. So don't I suggest you really dive deep into it if you feel called to. And yeah, let's see each other another time. So if you like this video, subscribe below, and give it a thumbs up, so that I will post on some other videos in the future. Alright, guys, see you. Be bold, be happy, be free.